Hi, I'm Stephen from Just Got Played. Got a special guest with me here, Jon. And today we're going to review Ready, Set, Bet, which is from AEG and was designed by Jon D. Clair. Jon D. Clair has designed a lot of things, but he's probably most famous for Space Base. But before we get to the review, I'm going to show you how the game is played, and I'm going to give you a demonstration of the optional app that you can use to run the horse race. All right, let's get to it.
In Ready, Set, Bet, you're betting on a horse race. There's two ways to do the horse race. One way, which is my preferred way, is to use the app or website. And after I show you what's going on in this board here, I'll give you a demonstration of that. You can skip to it if you want. There's a chapter for it. The other way is you can have one of the players actually run the race with the horses. So what this player does is they'll roll the dice and then, they rolled a 3. So they go to the horse. This is the horse that moves on a 2 or a 3, and they move it. And they say, the 2-3 horse is out of the gates, right? They need to let people know what's going on because people are going to be focusing on the board, and there's a lot of things going on. All right, the 5 has moved. And so you keep rolling. 8 is now out of the gate. And 6, the red horses are moving. 7 finally starts racing. 3 moves 1 again. And you'll keep doing this. Boxcars. You need to say boxcars because there's a bonus that can happen from that. And there's a 6. And while this is going on, everybody's going to be betting, and I'll show you that in a second. But I wanted to show you, all right, so I rolled a 6. Now imagine, let's say I rolled again, and lo and behold, I rolled another 6. Because the 6, I would move the 6 1, but then because the 6 went twice in a row, I would get a +1 movement. If I rolled another 6, it would just move once. And if I rolled another 6, then it would move twice. So you can see these horses up here that have a lower probability of being rolled on 2 dice, they have bigger bonuses. So the 12 horse can be really lagging behind, but you roll an 11, it moves 1 space. Then you roll a 12, and it moves 4 spaces. So it makes for an interesting movement of the horses. Some of these outside ones can move really fast. Now there's a red line here. So once 3 horses have passed this red line, there's no more bets. So players need to know, you need to announce if you're running this, that's happened. And then eventually some horse will cross the finish line and then the race immediately wins. Let's say, I don't know, it looked like this. And then what you do is you go and you put out the win place show here for 6 because they won. We can see that number 7 placed and showed, and 8 and 11, 12 were actually tied here, so they actually showed. And then you'll pay out bets. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what was going on with the bets. So on the board, there's a lot of different spaces, and everybody has their betting tokens, right? So there's 8 player colors. So you have 2 3s, a 2, a 4, and a 5. Every place on this board can only have one of these tokens, except down here with the exotic finish cards, they have 3 spots. So if you look at this, you can see, for instance, here you can bet on the number 8 horse to win. And there are 3 different spots here to bet on to win, but they're slightly different. So the first person to get in here can put down a number. And if they win, they're going to multiply this times that. So that would be 9. Say maybe blue wanted to also get in on that action. They can't put their token here because that's taken. So they would go here. They would actually get 15 if they won. But this is, if this is incorrect, which in this case it was, the 8 horse did not win. So blue would actually lose 1. So you can see there are various spots on the board, -5s, -6s with different payouts. If a horse does win, obviously you get from here. If a horse places, it will pay out anybody who picked for it to place or show. So win would pay out all the way across. When it places would pay out these 2 columns, and when it shows would only pay out this column. Some of the bets that are up here. So there's 7 finishes 5th or worse, and that pays out 4 times. Blue, orange, or red horse to win. These prop bet cards, these will change every race because you're going to do 4 races over the course of one game. These are always saying some horse is going to beat some other horse or group of horses. So those will all be discarded and new ones come out every race. Those can be bet on one time. The exotic finish cards, there will be a new one that comes out with every race, but the old one will stay. So you can have up to 3 people betting on those. Also, at the end of a race, after the payouts, every player is going to be given 2 VIP cards. And these are just special powers, essentially, right? So I could take this card, the last second better card, and if I kept it, I would get to bet even after the no more bets condition is triggered. Or I could take this bonus bet token. I only get to keep one of them. This bonus bet token is interesting. I get this extra token, which is a 7 payout, right? So say I put it here. If this had been correct, I would have gotten 21, but it was not correct. So I would have had to pay 7 back to the bank. And the money that you get is just points. You can't wager it in future races or anything like that. So again, there's always going to be a new exotic finish coming out. People are going to be getting new VIP cards. Prop bets are going to change, but the majority of the board here is the same from race to race. All right, so now let me show you how the app works. I'll just demonstrate it using the website version. And if you're not interested in that, you can just skip to the next chapter where we tell you what we thought about the game.
They're off! The number 5 stallion coming out of the gate early. The 8 horse coming out of the gate early. 7. The 2-3 horse has left the starting gate. 11. The number 8 stallion makes his move into first place. The 9 horse has left the starting gate. The 7 horse moves into first place. The number 8 stallion makes his move into first place. The 7 horse moves into first place. The 7 horse moves into first place. 6. The number 8 stallion makes his move into first place. 5. The 10 horse has finally left the gate. 9. The 7 horse moves into first place. The 9 horse is looking to show. The 4 horse has finally left the gate. 6. Number 7 stays at her favorite spot. First place. 6. 3. 9. 5. Number 7 stays at her favorite spot. First place. 5. Number 7 stays at her favorite spot. First place. 5. 4. 6. The 6 horse takes her back-to-back bonus. 10. The 11-12 horse is in the middle of the pack. 10. The 10 horse flies ahead 3 extra spaces. Number 7 stays at her favorite spot. First place. The 6 horse has moved into second place. The bonus move puts the number 6 mare into the lead. It's a neck-and-neck battle for first place. Who will pull out front? 8. 5. 10. The 6 horse races across the red line. That's the first horse across the red line. Don't get left behind. Get your final bets ready. The 7 horse races across the red line. That's 2 horses across the red line. Quickly now, get those bets in. The 7 horse moves into first place. It's coming down to the end, folks. Who will win this amazing race? The 11-12 mare, not a favorite to win this race. The 9 horse, an average mare, is in the middle of the pack. The number 6 mare makes her move into first place. The 4 horse, giving a respectable run. The number 8 stallion, always a favorite to show, is moving into third place. The 10 horse holds on to second place. The 10 horse uses the bonus to cross the red line. No more bets! The 3rd horse has crossed the red line. Who is going to take this race? The 7 horse moves into second, hot on the heels of first. 5. The 4 horse remains at the back of the pack. 8. The 6 horse has moved into second place. The 10 horse is at the finish line. The 5 horse is looking to show, moving into third. Snake Eyes remains at the back of the pack. The 6 horse has moved into second place. The 6 horse crosses the finish line. Always a strong contender, this mare has shown the heart of a champion. This race was a photo finish. First, second, and third place were so close. Third only lost by 3 or fewer spaces. We have an epic fail at the gates. At least 2 horses moved 3 or fewer spaces. The winner won this race by a nose. The second place horse was only 1 space behind. Remember to check the final positions of all horses for the exotic finish and prop bets. Pass out the VIP cards and get ready for race number 2. When you're all set, hit the next race button.
All right. Well, hope you found that interesting. I always use the app. I've never actually done the dice rolling and move the horses, so I always saw the app that you just I always play with that and recommend doing that. But now, if you want to play with the dice, some people find that fun, right? Rolling the dice, moving the horses. So that's fine. All right. Well, so let's start off. John, what did you like about this game?
I think the thing I liked is that everybody is engaged from start to finish. There's a lot of times, even with party games, where you're waiting your turn and you're waiting for something to happen. But in here, the entire time, it's just action, action, action. There's always something going on. And that's for all 4 rounds. So just from the start to the finish, you're having a good time. There's no downtime. There's no resetting, really. It's easy to go between rounds. So it's just the entire time you're doing something. Everything that you're doing is fun. And it's just a great little party game.
Yeah, I mean, the payout part can be a little slow. I mean, when you've got 8 players and all those tokens out there, you got to do all the payouts, but it's not that bad, right?
Yeah, but you're also getting money, and everybody's interested in who's getting what money, so it's still engaging. But I definitely see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's an interesting point to me, because typically when I talk about party games, sort of the things that define something as a party game for me are, 1, that they play a lot of players, and 2, nobody really cares who's winning, right? Normally in a party game, it's about the experience. But this game breaks the mold a little bit for me, because it really is a party game. It feels like a party game. I mean, nobody really cares, I guess, if they lost, but who's winning is part of the fun of the game, which, for me is not normally what I would consider a party game. So, that's interesting. And that's I think what I like about this game. It just sort of breaks it up a little bit. I love games that support, 8 players. And this doesn't overstay its welcome either, right? Which is important for a party game. So, I definitely, just going from a demonstration or a playthrough or anything online, you should be able to determine, right, whether this game would work for your group, because it's not deep. It's not complicated. It's what you see is what you get, right?
You know exactly what you're getting when you buy this game, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So if there was something that you didn't like about the game, what would you say that is?
So I think it's minor. Overall, great game. But if you have all 8 people or even 9 people playing, you're all kind of crowded around the same table when you're trying to place bets in real time. So sometimes it's conflict. Sometimes you bump somebody's hand. You're both going for the same thing at the same time. How do you resolve that while not disrupting the flow of the game? So there's definitely a little bit of a physical component of trying to get everything out there, as well as the fact that there's 4 different exotic bet cards at the end. There's an entire row up top of extra bets. So there's a little bit of extra stuff to keep track of, and you're trying to stay out of each other's way as you're placing the bets. But overall, it's a very minor gripe. I don't think it ruins the game at all. It's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, when we played this at 8 players, there was a little bit of bumping, like, hey, you bumped my thing. No, this belongs there. Like, hey, will you throw this over there for me? I literally can't reach it,
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But it's also interesting to me because and I've played this game also at 4 players. Mm-hmm. And my dislike at 4 players is it's the same board. It's the same board. It's the same prop bets. It's the same exotic finishes. You have so much more space that you don't feel. I mean, in the 8-player game, it was chaos. Like, you've got to get out there and get your bets on the board because those spaces are going to fill up. But when there's only 4 people, it's and actually when we were playing 4 people, I think maybe the second round, one of the guys got the VIP token that let him bet after bets were closed. Right. Mm-hmm. So he in particular was even holding his bets to later in the game. So you had a lot of time to see what was developing before you put in the bets. But when we were playing it at 8 players, it was like a horse would move twice and people would be putting bets down on it. You're like, I got to get my tokens in there. And then, and it's not just 8 players with 5 tokens each. You've got those bonus tokens. A bunch of those are out too, right? So there's a lot of tokens out there. There were multiple times, at least 2 rounds when we played at 8 players, that I still had 1 or 2 low value tokens in my hand at the end of the race, because all the free spaces fill up quick, right? So you're sitting there like, gosh, I don't really know who's going to win or not. And if I put this down, those are negative spots. I don't want to do that. And then next thing you know, the bets are closed and you can't put it down. And you're like, oh well, I didn't get everything on. But yeah, so it is an interesting game. I still think it was fun at 4 players, but I thought it was a lot more fun at 8 players. I thought a lot more of the chaos, a lot more of the, I don't know, what you expect from a horse race, you know?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of my favorite party games like Celestia and many others. They say they'll play 3 to 8, but the reality is you're not getting that game experience that they intended unless you're closer to that 8 than that 3. So it's one of those games where you can play it at 4, but I really heartily wouldn't recommend it to anybody because it just doesn't have that same feel.
Yeah, I mean, the Board Game Geek page says that you can play this game at 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe the rules are different, right? I don't remember seeing anything in the rules about it, but I would never play it at 2 anyway. But I'm surprised it says that on there, and I would not expect it to be a good experience. But what do you think about? So when we played, we used the app, and we were at a Loud game store, right? And I had a tablet. But you felt that it worked fine, right?
Absolutely. It moved the game along really nicely, but it also had a little delay built in, so you could see the roll, you could react to the roll, and then it would do it again for you. So I actually think that I would prefer to have somebody rolling the dice just because I think it adds that extra layer to it. However, the app works beautifully. The app just did everything you would want it to do with the right pace. The graphics look great on it. So like the app is one that replaces that player doing that for you and does it in such an efficient way, but still maintains a lot of that fun. So I think it's one of the best uses of an app within a board game that I've seen.
Yeah, I would agree. So, all right. Well, I'll say good game. Check it out. Check it out at higher player count if you can, and use the app if you get a chance to do that. But anyway, I'm Stephen from Just Got Played. This is John. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions about the game, you can leave those comments on the YouTube video here, or if you look at the description of the video, there's our Discord channel. You can come over there and ask us some questions. You can see all of our links to follow us on social media. Give us a thumbs up if you liked this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. But until the next time, thanks for joining us.